Hello everybody. We're gonna do some cooking today. Now, remember that roasted chicken we did for Christmas? Well, I still had roasted chicken left. I had a thigh, a couple of wings, a few other bony pieces, so I proceeded to get all the meat, all the chicken pieces of meat off of the bones, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. But all those bones that I had, I'm going to dump right in that pot. That's everything that I scraped off of the bones, you know. I mean, these were all the bones that were left. I'm going to simply put in and I need to drain my peas. I got a can of garden peas. I'm just going to drain the juice in there because we're making soup with those bones. And we'll get a big spoon because I don't want to dump all this can in this dish. I've got a baking dish right here. I'm only going to put about half of my peas in there. The other half I'm putting in my pot for my soup. Get all that goodness out of the bottom. Now I've already preheated my oven to 400 degrees. And you might say, well, wait a minute, y'all, you got bones and you got skin and you got all the pieces from your chicken that's left. Yep, I'm just going to cook it right in here, and I probably should have waited to put my peas in till later. What's wrong, burner? Because we need to cook our bones. But we'll get back to that in a minute. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open my corn. I've got 1 can of whole kernel corn. And again, I'm just going to drain the corn, the juice right into my pot to make my soup. And I'm going to put, I hate wearing long sleeves when I'm cooking because they always get in my way. I'm going to put about a half a can of this corn in my baking dish with my peas. The rest of it I'm putting in my pot for my soup. I've got 1 can of sliced carrots. Again, I'm draining the juice into my pot for my soup. And that was not even the whole chicken. It was just a couple of pieces, the wing, the back, a thigh that I have bones and skin off of. And what I'm doing, these are sliced carrots, so I'm trying to chop them up a little bit because I didn't want quite that big a piece. So I'm just taking my knife and I'm cutting them a little bit. I mean, if you want, you can leave them whole. Just the whole slice. I just prefer to chop them up a little bit. I'm going to dump that in my dish with my corn. I'm going to put the rest of it in my soup pot. This is great if you're eating on a budget. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish my little bake here I got going on. I got my chicken. I'm going to dump right in that baking dish with my corn, my carrots, and my peas. I had some leftover gravy that I made with my chicken. I'm just going to put some of that in here. We're just going to mix this around. You want some of that gravy just mixed all in. Now, if you didn't have any gravy left and you got a can of cream of chicken soup, you can use the can of cream of chicken soup in here instead of the gravy. The gravy is more economical, because this is a way you can stretch your food. We'll just get this all mixed up real good. I got it mixed up now. I'm just kind of leveling it out. But don't that look good so far? I've got bits of chicken, I've got corn, I've got carrots, I've got garden peas, and I've got that, what, half pint or pint of chicken gravy. And I've got my kitchen shears. I've got 1 can of crescent rolls. But that little bit of roasted chicken that we have left is going to make us 2 more dishes. Now you can cut these, which is a good thing, and just put those pieces right down in there. That way when they cook, they're going to soak up some of the liquid from that gravy. But just cut them a little. And 1 can of crescent rolls should cover the top. Because you know they will spread out. They will rise up. If you don't have kitchen shears that you can cut with, just take a knife and put them down on the counter and slice them off a little bit. You may have to rearrange them, you know, to make sure you get coverage of the whole top. Maybe not put them in quite as tight together. Because like I said, they will spread out. That should be good. Now what I'm going to do is get some butter. And I had forgot to take it out a while ago. Or I would have already had this out. But I'm just going to take... And I'm not even going to melt it. I'm just going to put it on top. I'm just putting a little bit of butter on each piece of my crescent roll. Because guess what? When it starts cooking, it's going to melt. It'll melt on its own. And this is a no-fuss way to do this. And that should be good. I've got each one coated a little. Now I'm simply going to put it in my oven, my 400-degree preheated oven, for about 30 minutes. Just keep an eye on it so you don't burn it or anything. But about 30 minutes. And I'm going to set a timer to go off over here. Set one for 30 minutes. Or maybe set it for 25 so I'll know to check it after 25 minutes. So I don't forget. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and set it for 25 minutes. Leave it right there. Now, getting back to our soup, we're going to put about 1/4 of a chopped up onion in our soup. And I need to move that to the front burner, because I don't like reaching over to get to my pot. Now, I got a couple of pieces of celery that I had left. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut those right into my soup. And again, they've already been washed. I washed them when I put them in the refrigerator. Or before I put them in there. But it's probably about 2 whole stalks of celery, because I've got 4 half pieces here. So that's plenty. But we want those bones to cook. Made a mess over here. Now I've got some garlic. And I'm going to put about a ½ tablespoon of garlic in there. Or maybe a little more. I like garlic. And garlic is good for you, especially in soup in the wintertime. Now we're going to add garlic powder. See how much I got in there. Probably going to put it all in there. Probably about a flat teaspoonful of garlic. It's about what I have left in there. And again, it's got one of those things they put in pills so they don't get moist. That's what you heard clicking around. I don't know why. Some of them don't have them, but that one did. I'm going to put some just plain garlic powder. I mean, not garlic powder, but onion powder. Yep, this one's got one too. And it's not coming out fast at all, so don't think I'm putting a ton of it in there. I'm probably going to be putting about a flat teaspoonful in there. If I get that much in there, because the steam is getting it. Shouldn't hold it over the pot, I guess. Now some of this, if it gets moisture in there, it clumps up. There, that's about a teaspoonful. You know what, I probably ought to put that. I'm going to put that little moisture protector thing in there. We got the garlic. Now we need some chicken bouillon. Or chicken stock, whichever you got. I'm going to put about a tablespoon in there. Put some pepper. If you don't like black pepper, don't put black pepper. I'm going to use one of my cans just to put water in my soup. Putting about 2 cans of water in there. And I may have to add more later, I don't know. But we're going to let that cook for a while. 3 cans of water should be plenty. But that's 2 meals with a couple of pieces of leftover chicken from our roasted chicken we had for the holidays. Because it was only me. I ate chicken sandwiches. I ate the chicken with my potatoes. I ate chicken with potatoes and beans. I ate another chicken sandwich this morning. So then I decided, well, I'm kind of tired of eating just plain roasted chicken. So I said, what else can I do with it? So we're making like a semi-potted pie, chicken pot pie, that's in the oven cooking. And we've got our chicken soup cooking right now. And it doesn't take too long to cook it because the chicken was already cooked. Your beans and your corn are basically already cooked. So, I got this turned up on high. I'm going to put the lid on it. Because we want it to go ahead and get heated up pretty quick. I want it to start coming to a boil. Because we want it to simmer at a boil for a little bit. To bring out all the flavor from the chicken, we want the health benefits cooked out of the bone, what little bit of bones we got in there. And don't worry, we're going to take what little bones we got in there out later. We're not leaving them in our soup. The ideal thing to do was put all your broth and your seasonings in, put your chicken bones in, boil them for about 30 minutes, and then add your vegetables and boil them for another, say, 20 to 30 minutes. But I put it all in at one time, and you can do that. It's just a quicker way to do it. So, you know, if you're eating on a budget, a low budget, and you got a big family, this is some things you can do to save money and have good food. You know, out of that one chicken, I had roasted chicken and potatoes for several days. I ate chicken sandwiches off of it. And now, I've made me a chicken pot pie, or making it, and I'm making a pot of chicken soup, which is healthy for you for the winter months, the cold months, because it's flu season. Everybody's going to be catching colds and flu, and you're going to want a good soup. And this is healthy. The onions, the garlic is a great benefit to eat if you're getting sick with colds or flu. Now, looks like our pot pie's got a little while to go yet. I'm going to let that cook for a while, and then we'll be back. Now, our soup has been boiling for a little while. So what I'm going to do is see if I can start getting some of the bones out. I've got a bowl to put them in, and I will get some of that skin out because I don't like the chicken skin. But I think we got all the goodness boiled out of it. as part of the chicken wing. And you will have little bits and pieces of the chicken in there, which you want. I mean, in some countries, they would leave the skin and everything in there. I don't like the skin, so I'm not leaving it in mine. I know a better way to do that is to take a slotted spoon and dip up part of this. That way you can see the bones better. And get your bones out and leave your vegetables. And usually the skin part floats to the top, unless it's attached to something, like the bone. And then it may be weighted down, but usually the skin is the easiest to get out. And yeah, I put the neck bone and everything right back in the pot. Because let's face it, when you buy a can of chicken soup, you virtually have no chicken in that soup. And we're not going to have a lot of chicken in this one. But we will have a little bit. You'll probably still end up with more pieces of chicken in this soup than you would in a can of soup you buy at the store. Get that bone out. And all the little bits and pieces that you don't want, like some gristle pieces, that type of stuff, you can get all those out. But there are little bits and pieces of chicken left that came off of those bones. Whoops, I dropped that bone. Woo, that's hot. In some countries, they would have just left the skin in there, but I can't go the skin unless it's crispy cooked. I just don't like the skin, that's all. And I don't like the little gristly parts. Looking real good for the bones. Checking on my biscuits, or my, not my biscuits, my chicken pot pie in there. It's not quite brown enough. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this back on. That's got to cook some more. And I'm debating. I don't know what kind of noodle I want to put in there. Do I have elbows? And like I said time before, if you don't have anything but, say, a spaghetti noodle or pasta noodle, it don't matter what kind it is. You know what? I may even just put rice in there. Let me see. Oh, let's see. I change my mind all the time. No, I think I'll go ahead and do that. Like we did one time before, I'm going to add spaghetti noodles in there. But what I'm going to do is break them up real short. Maybe about 1 inch long, not quite that long. And we're not going to put a whole lot in there, just a little. But you can see I'm breaking them to about 1 inch, not even an inch if I can help it. As short as I can hold them in my hand to break them is what I'm cutting them as. And I think that's all I'm going to put in there. Maybe one more little go round of them. Because they will swell up. So you do have bits and pieces of chicken in there. And while that's cooking, you can go through your little pieces of bones over here and pull out more pieces of chicken that you can put in your soup. You might say, well, it's not worth doing all that. Well, hey, depends on how low you are on money whether it's worth doing this or not. Depends on how much money you got to spend for groceries is whether it's worth it or not. There's quite a few pieces left on the neck that you can get off. But I'll guarantee you no more chicken than what we've put in there so far. Is still probably more than you're going to get in a can of soup you buy at the store. Of a regular can of chicken noodle soup. Or chicken and rice soup. Because there's very little chicken in it. And I'm all for saving money, you know. I've had to do that my whole life. I mean, granted, there may not be much left in there on those pieces of chicken, but there's some. A little bit more than what you might think. I think I've got all I can get off of that. And I'm checking on my chicken pot pie. It's got a little more cooking to do. Not much, but a little. I need to turn it. I need to turn it. I don't know if you can see it. See. And I'm just going to spin it around so it evenly cooks that dough. And I'm going to leave it in there probably for about another 20 minutes while my soup's cooking, since we put the little bit of pasta noodles in there. Because this is soup, y'all. We don't want a lot of stuff in there, you know, to make it go dry on us. Now it's boiling. And as soon as those little pasta noodles are done that I put in there, that few, our soup is done. I mean, don't that look good? It's just now coming to another boil. But like I said, as soon as those few pasta noodles are cooked that I put in there, our soup is done. We can eat it. We're ready to eat. But there's always ways that you can stretch your food dollar. Don't throw your food away. I mean, how many people cooked a big old turkey for Thanksgiving and threw the whole carcass away and tons of meat on that carcass? Just put it in the garbage. That's food being thrown away. There's a lot you could do with that carcass. You can make turkey soup. You can make turkey and rice, turkey and dumplings. Several meals you can make with that turkey carcass. All that food was thrown away. Just like this chicken. I only had a couple of pieces left, maybe not even half the chicken pieces, because it was wings, the back, a thigh, and I think that was basically all. And I got all that meat, enough off of those bones to put in my chicken pot pie. And then what little bit of scraps was left on the bones, I basically boiled off in my pot to make my chicken soup. So, like I said, don't throw your money away. I mean, especially if you're hurting for money. I mean, and the same way with your hams. When you bake a ham, don't throw that bone away. Save that bone and those scraps of ham, because you can cook it in beans. You can make ham bone soup. Oh my God, there's a lot of stuff you can do with that ham bone. Don't throw it away. Because if you're throwing it away, you're throwing meals away that you don't have to buy. You're saving money on your food bill if you don't throw it away. Pot pie's almost ready to come out. I guess it's time to get rid of Christmas dish towels and Christmas stuff in the kitchen and pack it up for next year. Pot pie's about to boil over in there. But I mean, this chicken soup is looking real good. It's going to taste real good too. In fact, I need to taste it for the seasoning that's in it. It's perfect, just like it is. That corn gives it a sweet taste. And you know, we put the liquid from the can of corn in. We put the liquid from the peas in. We put the liquid from the the carrots in. That just gives it more of a vegetable flavor. And our noodles are almost done. I can look at them and tell. I may put just a little bit more chicken bouillon in there. I'm a big fan of chicken bouillon. Oh, it's bubbling up real good. I just hope it doesn't bubble up over into my oven. See how we're doing on time. Not much longer. Not much longer at all. But that's probably enough soup for 3 or 4 people. 2 people if you like soup and you eat a lot. Or if you want a great big bowl of soup, that might make 2 great big bowls for 2 people. But it was better than throwing away, or you wouldn't have had this. Yeah, I could have put a few more of the spaghetti noodles in there, but it's okay. Or like I said, you could put maybe a 1/4 cup of rice in that much, and that way you cook the rice and you don't absorb all your soup. You could have put just a little bit of small other types of pasta noodles, not much, because you don't want it to soak up all your soup and then turn it into just a pasta, not a soup. We want to leave it a soup. Got a couple more minutes. But this is just another way of stretching your money out on your food bill. Instead of buying more chicken, I used the chicken I already had. Let me bring that out a little bit and check it. Not all of my bread is browned yet. And I did add just a little bit more crescent roll because I wanted my top to be completely covered. So that's why it's taken longer to brown it, because I added a few more crescent rolls on the top between the other ones, because I wanted it a solid sheet of bread across the top. You don't have to do that. It's just whatever you want to do. And the good thing about this, if it's just one person, you can freeze containers of soup. You can freeze part of your chicken pot pie. You don't have to sit down there and eat it for 2 or 3 days till it's gone. If you've got freezer space, then freeze you a bowl of soup. Freeze you maybe half of your chicken pot pie. You can put it in individual containers. That way, when you want chicken pot pie, you just take enough out for one meal. You don't have to take the whole half of one out. And you don't have to cook. Yeah, it's just about ready to take out. And again, I added more crescent roll to it, so parts of it is not quite as dark as the rest. And I probably should have done it all in the beginning, not waited till halfway through cooking to do this, but you know me, I'm apt to change my mind at any time. Because like I said, recipes are not written in stone. You can change them. I'm watching my timer over here. Yeah, there's just enough noodles in there to make it an interesting soup. Like I said, I could have put more, but and if you didn't have more crescent rolls and you wanted to add more to the top like I did, just mix you up about a half a cup of flour with a little bit of water just to make it like a dough out of it, and spoon it in the little holes. That works too. Here is my soup. And here is my chicken pot pie. And I'm going to let that cool a little bit. And while it cools, it's literally going to soak up some of the juice from the pie into the bread or the dough at the top. That way you can scoop it out a lot easier. Because remember, we didn't put any dough on the bottom. I mean, if you wanted to, you could put, say, a layer of dough on the bottom and then put your vegetables and your chicken in and then put your crescent rolls on top. I almost did that. And that is a, you know, that is a way that you can do it. But I figured I'd have too much in my dish if I did that. But my bread is all done, and you can see what I added didn't get as brown as some of the rest, but it is cooked. So that's going to be really good. It's going to be really good. And of course, our chicken soup. I mean, look at that. You see all those veggies in there, and we got, you can see chicken in there actually. I'm going to go ahead and get me a, let's see if I can find, well, I might be able to do it with this. Because this is my lunch today, y'all. There you go. We got chicken soup and we got chicken pot pie. Don't that look good? Y'all try it. I think you'll like it. I got to taste this chicken pot pie with the crescent rolls. Let me get a fork or a spoon. I mean, it is extremely hot. Woo! Plate is hot. And it's got tons of chicken. Y'all have some. Mmm. That is chicken pot pie, y'all. Mm-hmm. Got my mouth full. But there you go, 2 dishes with leftover roasted chicken from 1 chicken. And I probably will be freezing part of this chicken pot pie because I can't eat all that. And I don't want to eat it for the next 4 or 5 days. And I will be freezing some bowls of this chicken soup. So with that, y'all have a blessed day. And I'll see you on my next one. Bye.